Hey, so welcome back. So today I'm going to go over the torsion spring I have up here. It decided to break one day. I wasn't opening it or closing it. It just shattered. It actually rattled my house pretty good. And I have a security footage of it right here. So I'm going to show you how to repair it. It's pretty easy, but there's some things you're going to need to know before you go out and try to repair it yourself if you have this type of situation. The first thing is there's a difference between left-handed wound springs and right-handed wound springs. So basically, when I first started looking into this, I would assume that the right-handed would be on the right side of the garage as I'm looking at it. That's not the case. This is actually the left side, left wounded spring, and that's going to be the right side if I had an extra spring up there. What's probably the easiest way for you to do is to actually just walk out to your garage, come to the center, turn around. If you have a spring on your left hand, left-handed wound. If it's on the right hand, you get the point. So that's how I'm going to remember it when I need to go actually purchase one. This way I don't get them confused. There's actually even some color markings. I'm not sure if mine has it, but what I've been told is the left side's going to be a black painting and the right side's supposed to be red. When we take it apart, I'll see if it's actually there, and then I'll start showing you the measurements that you need and the proper dimensions, spring size, diameters, things of that nature, and then we'll go buy it and we'll install it. One of the other factors you're probably going to be thinking about is, man, that's going to be a lot of money. This happened, it happened over the weekend, and the guy I called quoted me for $500. Now, I don't know if that was just weekend price, after hour price kind of thing, or if that's really what they charge on any other day. So I am not going to go that route. I'm going to do it myself. I'm pretty handy. I have plenty of tools to take care of this kind of stuff. And maybe that's just in my area. So feel free to reach out, talk to some people. They might give you a better price than what I had. But the video I posted about my security footage, someone said that's not $500, it's $100, blah, blah. Yeah, but you don't know my area. You don't know the guy I call. I mean, maybe I was getting robbed. I don't know. But it's pretty cheap. It's not going to be too expensive, and this is something that most people can take care of as long as you're pretty handy with some tools and a little bit of knowledge maybe. So before you get started, you want to make sure you have the proper tools. One of the most important things are going to be these bars. This is going to allow you to go into the side of the spring, and keep in mind, I don't know what any of this is called. I just am pretty confident I could do it, but this allows you to go in there and you could twist the spring your quarter inch, and you can walk it until it gets the proper tension. I recommend these. They have the grip so you're not going to get sweaty like it is right here. I think it's 95 in the garage right now. And they're solid metal, so you're not going to bend them. They're not going to break on you. You're going to need a pair of channel locks. Now in my situation, I only have one spring on my garage door, so I'm not going to need it until I start doing the install. You might need it if you have two springs. So if you have one left and right and only the left one is broken, you're probably going to need the channel locks to hold it in place while you're taking things apart. And it's always a good idea, if you're going to do one, you might as well replace the other one also, because odds are they're wearing at the same time, and you don't want to get to a situation where you're fixing one and then a week later you have to fix the other one. I'm going to use a deep socket 9/16. That's going to allow me to take apart this portion of it. It allows me to disconnect the spring from the center brace right here. A 9/16 box end wrench, just so I can hold the other side of the bolt. And gloves, recommend the gloves. And let me get you in a little bit closer to show you what I'm gonna need here. So that bolt right there that holds the spring onto the shaft, the little red ones, if you use the open end wrench, it's a 10, but if you want to use the box inside of it, it's 11. And that will be okay for this one and that one over there. Always remember to disconnect the power from the garage door. Or at the very least, if you don't feel like doing that, is pull the string to disengage the garage door from the motor This way, if your wife's out in town or your kid's coming home or whatever, they don't accidentally open it up or try to open it up while you're standing right here working on it. Never fails, you're always gonna drop something. All right, so we'll move, this is now disconnected. So now we'll move to the other side of the spring. This side is gonna be the 10 or the 11, depending on how you're gonna use the wrench. I'm gonna try to just use the 11, the box end. We'll see how tight that is. Not too bad. Guess I'll flip that around. Oh. If you turn it the right way, it really helps out. It might make it easier if you get some sandpaper and go around where these bolts pinned against the bar. Sometimes they leave a burr or a dent. So you might want to sand it down just so when you add the new one, it slides over easily. I'm just going to use this file. It's just a little insurance. It doesn't look really burred out, so that's good. Once you get this one loosened, go back to your sandpaper, clean up these burrs, and then we got to go to the other side of the garage. Now the plan here is to loosen this one. Hopefully I could slide this shaft that way, and then this way I can remove the springs on the other end. We'll see if that theory works. Not very good. Maybe she needs to be loosened up a little bit more. That should do it. Okay. Since you're up here, and this is probably gonna be too hard to see, but there's a bearing that sits on this frame right here where the shaft goes through. Since you're here, you might as well look at it, make sure it's good. This one looks decent. I'm not gonna bother it. Now let's see if we can slide this off. Looks like I can. And we'll go to the other side and catch it. Oh, that's exciting. Apparently that can happen. And then I'm going to put that shaft back into this side. Huh. That is bent. I wonder if that's okay. Probably not okay. So that was a little dramatic. Obviously, I was trying to make it look a lot better than that, but things happen. Just stay safe out there. Once you get the spring off of the rail, you're gonna need some measurements. So one of the first measurements I take is I push the two pieces together, and then from the first round of the coil to the last one back here. Do not measure this bracket right here. Only go to the spring itself. Write this stuff down because you will forget it. I'm sitting at 33 3/4. Now I could round up to 34 if I wanted to. If I'm looking online and there's a 33 1/2, that's okay. But for actual measurements, I'm gonna write down 33 3/4 for the length. The second measurement you're gonna want is the diameter of the coil. So from end to end, I don't typically measure it like that just because I know there's a variation at that tip. So I always bring it to the 1 inch and then I measure across. So that says it's a 2-inch spring. So diameter, 2 inches. So the last measurement you're gonna need is you're gonna need to count out 20 coils. 20, one of these. So find your starting point, count 20, and that's why I push the spring back together, because sometimes it's hard to get the 20 count without it not being together. I don't really want to take it from the ends because sometimes those are bent up a little bit and you may get an inaccurate number. So just pick a starting point. I use a screwdriver to kind of give me a little bit of a lip in there. Shove a piece of paper in there or a business card or something. And then from that point, I'm going to count 20 this way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. All right, that's my 20. Get my screwdriver. Put it on this side. Now, because I'm a clown, I'll recount that, double check that it is actually 20, and then I'll make that measurement. Look at that, I did it right. So from point A to point B, we're looking at right at 5 1/4. 5 1/4. Earlier, I wanted to check to see if this actually had the black painting that indicates that this is a left-handed wound spring. And you can see it right there. If it was a right-handed wound spring, it would be red. So I'm kind of surprised to see it. I guess it's standard, but I never know anymore. So once you get all your measurements, you're really ready to go and buy it. I'm gonna go look to see if there's one at Lowe's or one at Home Depot. If not, there's plenty of websites out there that ask you for all the measurements to make sure you get the proper spring. And a lot of them ship same day or next day, so they're not a bad an option really. I'm just hoping I find one at Lowe's or Home Depot. So hopefully I find that, and once I do, I'll show you how to install it. All right, so I went online and I bought my spring. I haven't opened it up yet, so let's see what it looks like. Home Depot, Lowe's, Ace Hardware, Tractor Supply, none of them had it. They had the old style where the garage door used to just, there used to be wood and they would open up like that out into your driveway. They have those springs, but the torsion springs for the new style garages, they didn't have. You can order it from them, but I found a better priced option just through a random website online. A spring. Black lets me know I got the right one. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just match my old one to my new one just to make sure I actually got the right one that I needed. If it's off a little bit, I think it'll be okay, but I don't want it to be way off. I don't know if it'll cause an issue with the garage door. So if as long as it's close, I'll be happy. I think we're good. This one is a little bit longer, but like I said, I think we'll be fine. Maybe it's just this one got twisted so much that it's kind of compressed itself. I don't know if that's a thing, but we're gonna go with it. When I first started this project, it was right before my vacation. Went on vacation to Florida for 2 weeks. I came back, now my nose is congested. So that's why that might sound different on video or audio. And now I'm trying to find all my tools I had. And I'm not known to put everything back just as soon as I'm done with it, especially knowing I'm gonna come back to the project. But I thought I left it here. So it's gonna be a minute before I can find everything again. So where the bolts go, that's gonna go on the inside of your garage. So if you spin this around, you'll see this little slot for the cable. So one side is bigger and it has the track for you already. And then this side obviously doesn't. So you put the wire in there to make it naturally go this way. And then when you go around, it'll start falling into its grooves so that you know that you're good to go. Hopefully this dang thing doesn't fall on me again. Mistake, I put that, I don't even know what that's called, but that wheel on that side before I put the spring on. So I'll do the right side, I'll put the vice grips on it like that, and then I'll put the spring and then this wheel on this side. Okay, I think that's tight enough. All right, so I'm gonna take that one back off, put the spring on, and we'll be done, hopefully. You know, I'm gonna have to cut all of this. This is all wrong. This is all wrong. Because I can't. Son of a gun. Okay, let's try this again. All right, so it turns out I actually don't know what I'm talking about. Hence the name of my channel, Johnny Master of None. I got to get the spring on there first, and I believe I'll bolt it on there. No, I'm not doing that. I'm gonna put the spring on there first, just let it stay loose. Then I'll realign that shaft or this bar to make sure it's the proper distance on both sides. And then go back, tighten up that wheel, put the vice grips on it. Then I'll come and do this wheel. Then I'll bolt it on there. And then I'll start doing the scariest part of this whole job. And mind you, I live in Texas and it's hot. And I don't have my fans on right now because then it messes with the audio. So hopefully this goes together good and easy. But probably not. Get in there. All right. This gets very heavy. Oh, Lord. Too hot to be doing this. All right. I think they said, Alexa said that it's going to be 106 today. The things you do for Hollywood. All right, now I think I'm on to something here. All right, so now that the spring is on, let's see where these indents are. Something like here. Ah! Guess my dog thought I was gonna die. Round 5. I think that's nice and tight. All right, I don't think she's going anywhere. Hopefully that's okay, because I'm getting tired of doing that. Same process on this side. Get your cable, make sure it's not getting caught anywhere. And then wrap her around. All right, I think that's nice and tight. Now, I deal with the spring. This heavy mother. All right, now that both sides are done, I'm gonna slide the spring over and put my bolts into it. I'm gonna be really upset if the old bolts, don't fit. I'm gonna be pretty disappointed, but they should. Oh, God bless America. Hurrah. Getting closer, guys. No idea how tight those are supposed to be. I say that's pretty tight though. All right, I'm gonna take a break. hydration break, say my prayers, and I'll wind up the spring. All right, so when you get to this point of the project, make sure you have the proper wrench to tighten down the bolts. You don't want to wind this spring up and then find out, man, you left your wrench at the table down there or you lost it somewhere. And also, when you're winding this up, make sure you're not directly in line with these bars. If something gives out and this spring wants to take off, you don't want to get uppercutted with it or anything like that. So just stay clear of this danger zone. I think I'm good to go. Inside. So my dog, if you heard that, my dog has a button. We're teaching him buttons. So if he wants to go inside, he could push the button and we're supposed to let him inside or go potty or eat or treats or something. But I'm in the middle of something right now, so he's gonna have to hang out. So loosen up the bolts, make sure there's no drag on it. And for I looked this up, if you have a 7-foot door, you need to wind this up 31 times. So, that's 1. That's 2. 3. 4. 5. I'm gonna lose count. Hopefully not. But even on the 5th turn, you can already feel the tension in the spring. So be mindful of this. 6. 7. I got to thinking, I don't know if I'm spinning this right. 11. 12. 13. 14. All right, we're gonna stay with that right now. That was 14. I'm gonna double check. So I'm not sure what happened when I was turning this, my camera stopped recording. So basically 31 times, I let it sit, the bar sit against the garage door, tightened up the set screws, and then I lifted it up, pulled the one that was against the garage door off, and you slowly just let it go back down, making sure that the set screws are actually hanging on to the bar itself. And then once that's like that, you're good to go. Now I'm gonna go take off the channel locks and push open on my garage door. All right, so I said I was just gonna go immediately push open on the garage door opener. I think what I'm gonna do now is just see if I could pick it up with hands. Once the spring broke, it always took me and my son to pick it up, and that's probably because I'm old and broken and tired, and he's nice and young and fresh. So if I can do it with one hand, I know the garage door opener is not gonna have any problems. So, let's see what happens. Oh, it's scary. Huh, look what I found. My dog's ear. Pig ear, not his ear, pig ear. I think we're in business. So that's pretty much it. I've never done one of these garage door springs before, so I was intimidated by it. Honestly, I watched one YouTube video and I was like, hey, I could do that. I knew I needed to buy the tool for it, so don't be scared to go out and actually purchase things that you're gonna be working on. I mean, for example, I'll never use this tool again. I don't see why I ever will, but I knew that I needed it for this application. Now that I've done it, I'm sure people in my family will have reasons for me to go over there and help them. And for whatever reason, it's a lot quieter compared to what it used to be. It used to be very loud. And now maybe that's just the tall tale sign of your spring is going bad. I always thought it was the rollers on the doors just hitting the track weird. But now it's actually pretty dang quiet. I've almost even replaced the whole motor and everything because of how loud it was, thinking it had something to do with that. So don't be scared to do things. I mean, be scared, be cautious with some things if you're new to it, but don't be scared to try. I mean, it's better to spend 80 bucks for a spring than pay a company $500 to do it. Now, granted, this took me a lot longer than what a company would take, but I was happy to try it, save some money, and I believe you guys could do it too. See you guys next time.